All right, everybody, welcome in and welcome back. Season 4, episode 18, aka our 129th show. Andy, I think we got a lot of exciting football to talk about today between Champions League, Barcelona, Manchester United.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, a lot of good soccer happened in the last week, and I think the
Yeah,
fans will be happy that we don't have to go over 4+ matches each plus all the leagues
yep,
today.
that'll be great. I know United, because of how poorly we performed last year, we're just playing one game, one match a week. So I'm excited to hear what happened for Barcelona, if they got back to their winning ways, or if there's more drama as they're going through their
Uh,
week. So
There's
Paul, go
always
ahead and
drama.
continue.
There's always drama. So let's talk
Hmm.
drama.
Yeah.
So Barcelona playing FC Copenhagen. And as I mentioned last week, FC Copenhagen are going into this match needing a win to make the knockout stages. Barcelona needing a win to make top eight. So both teams have a huge interest in this game, fighting for a lot. And Copenhagen are actually the first team to strike. And it was within the first 5 minutes, Andy.
Cool.
Eric Garcia, pass gets played into him. He doesn't really fully commit to the ball. Copenhagen gets it, plays one simple pass through the two center backs, Gerard Martin and Cubarsí, and he's in on goal one on one with the keeper, hits it around Joan Garcia, nothing he could do, 1-0. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me that's how we give up a
Hmm.
goal.
Hmm.
And the rest of the first half, FC Copenhagen just basically sits back and just absorbs pressure. And Barcelona are having a really hard time doing anything. And it's one of those games where Frankie de Jong missed the game. I think he had yellow card accumulation. So we're playing Eric Garcia, Danny Olmo, and Fermin. So
Hmm.
Olmo and Garcia are kind of playing the back two, and then Fermin's playing the up center mid. And Eric Garcia, I think, needs to not play midfield the rest of the year for Barcelona, maybe the
Hmm.
rest of his
Okay.
career.
Yeah.
So I think traditionally he is technically a holding midfielder by trade, like defensive mid by trade,
Hmm.
but he is so unaggressive with the ball. Like there were multiple times where a ball got played into him and he immediately played a pass off when he had no pressure on his back.
Hmm.
Like he's like not checking for where people are. He gets the ball, kind of surveys, and then just passes it back to another defender. He doesn't attack space. He doesn't really make any enterprising kind of passes forward. Like that's just it. It didn't work. It just allowed FC Copenhagen to sit back. They could make the middle compact and just make Barcelona try to go around them, but they would commit any number of players to the wings, to Lamin's side or Rafinha's side.
Yeah.
And so it just made the first half like this slugfest that suited FC Copenhagen. And I mean, I think they did a great job, but I think Barcelona didn't execute an attacking game plan. So I don't know if Hansi gave a fiery speech at halftime. I didn't hear anything, see anything, but it sounded like he was not happy. And
Hmm.
I'd be really interested to see what that would look like to be a fly on a wall in that locker room at halftime. Would have been very interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
But Eric Garcia gets subbed off at halftime. Marc Bernal comes on, and the game instantly changes. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the first goal Barcelona scored was within the first, yeah, it was 3 minutes into the second half where
Hmm.
Barcelona scored. And Marc Bernal was very much the difference. He comes on, he gets the ball, he's taking on defenders, he basically breaks down the middle.
Hmm.
And there's a play where ball gets played over to Danny Olmo. He plays a through ball to Lamine. Lamine goes around defenders, around the keeper, square ball to Lewandowski, puts the ball in the back of the net. 1-1. Barcelona's off and running. It's a completely different half.
Yeah.
After that, we had goals from then Lamine Yamal. We had a goal from Rafinha from a PK, which was a really interesting thing that happened. So penalty gets called. Lewandowski takes the ball, gives it to Lamine Yamal, and kind of the whole, what happens around the penalty spot where a penalty is
Yeah.
called. All that gets finally cleared away, and then Lamine goes to give the ball back to Lewandowski, like, hey, this is yours. And Lewandowski goes, no, it's yours. And then Lamine turns to Rafinha and says, hey, it's your turn. Because each of them had already scored at this point,
Okay.
which I thought
Yeah.
was a really cool thing that you don't expect an 18-year-old to do, especially somebody who's had as much success as Lamine, who hadn't been scoring goals like regularly lately, goals here and there, but gives it up to Rafinha. Rafinha scores, which was great. And then Andy, Here is my favorite stat. Without looking at the notes, can you tell me the last 2 years that free kick goals were scored in for Barcelona?
The last 2 years when free kick goals were scored.
Yes. So like give me the year. So Barcelona has scored 2 free kick goals in recent memory. Not
Okay.
no more than that, and it's been years since that has happened. Can you give me the
Seriously?
years that the last 2 goals were scored? Bonus points if you can tell me who it was.
I think I know who it was, and Leo Messi.
Leo Messi is
But-
one of them. Can you give me the year
Okay.
that Leo Messi last scored a free kick goal for Barcelona?
Jeez, when did he last play? I'm going to say 2015.
Oh no, man, he was here way more recently than that.
Okay.
It was in his last year for Barcelona.
So then, oh man, now you're testing my trivia knowledge, and it's not great.
That's okay.
I'll say Messi 2018 because I can't remember when he left Barcelona.
So it was
I can't
2021
2021. Okay,
because he played for
Jeez, that's
PSG
right,
in
'cause it's
2022 and
2026.
23. Yep.
I still think it's like 2023 and being like, oh, we just had COVID. No.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
So
yeah.
that
2021.
That was the
Yikes.
second to last free kick goal Barcelona scored. Can you give me the other year that Barcelona scored a free kick goal?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Can you give me the player still currently on the team?
Currently on the team, then let's do Rafinha.
No, it was Ferran Torres in 2023.
Toenails.
So yeah, toenails. Yeah, that was back in his toenail era, actually.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So
Were we
Messi,
potting at that point? I don't know if we were potting at that point. Were we?
Yeah, we were, because we're in our
Oh my
fourth
gosh.
year. That was
Shoot. Yeah.
actually when this goal happened. I don't think we had started potting because it was in September, but it was right around that time. So
Okay.
but Messi scored a free kick goal on May 2nd, 2021, and then Ferran Torres September 16th, 2023. Those are the last 2 free kick goals Barcelona has scored, which is crazy when you think of the number of free kick goals Messi scored for Barcelona in his tenure with us. And guess who scored a free kick goal for Barcelona against FC Copenhagen, Andy?
I'm gonna say Lamine. Why not?
No, it's your boy.
Toenails.
No, your other boy.
I don't have any boys in Barcelona.
Yes, you do.
Whoa, rash beans. Rash beans. Yeah, there we go. Rash beans.
Yeah. So he ends up scoring the 4th goal.
Amazing.
Beautiful free kick. So it was a couple yards out from the 18. Both him and Rafinha were over the ball, kind of talking to each other. It definitely suited a right, like a shot from the right foot, because it was on the left side of the goal. So right-footed kick would kind of take it away from the keeper and into the corner versus a left-footed shot, which would kind of take it into the keeper. More so from that side. So he bended around the wall and actually went low under like around the wall and kind of low and in the bottom left-hand corner of the goal.
Okay.
And really nice goal. Goalie couldn't do anything about it, and I was really happy. I mean,
There's
we need
a free kick goal. Yeah. Nothing like a free kick goal.
We don't get to see many of those. We are a terrible set piece team. We're pretty good on corners, but like set pieces, free kicks besides, just not very good on, especially shooting. So the fact that we got a goal, and a nice goal at that, not like the goalie like completely messed up or slipped or whatever it might be. So a nice goal. We needed the goal for goal differential, depending on how other games went at the time, because all the Champions League games were played at the same time. And yeah, it basically got us into the top 8. So beautiful results, and yeah, just very happy.
Yeah.
Nice to see Rashford on the
relief.
score sheet too again.
Yeah, definitely. Because I haven't heard his name. I know he's been working and playing, so just not like where he was initially at the start of the year, where it seemed like he was getting all your guys' assists, whether he was crossing it in or taking set pieces from corners. Excuse me. So glad to see him back on the score sheet, because he loves those Champions League nights. So
yes,
and that's why he's there. So
we make top 8, which is great. It's always good to have a couple less games in this era where it seems like we just have tons and tons of games. Nice to have a little bit of rest, especially to get Pedri back. and we'll get to more injury news in this next game, Andy. So
Yeah.
Barcelona get a nice 3-1 win over Elche, and it was a kind of a rough game to watch as a fan because Barcelona had so many chances. So Barcelona had over 6 expected goals.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're familiar with that stat, Andy, but I would say most teams average 2, maybe 3 a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
From what I've seen, like with the expected goals thing, it's usually around there. Like it's probably like low threes, very high twos, and the 2
yeah,
point blah blah
yeah,
blahs or whatever that is.
yeah. Barcelona had over 6. It was the
That's
highest
crazy.
expected goal rating for this season in La Liga across any team.
Wow.
And we just couldn't score. Like we hit posts. At one point, Ferran hit the crossbar. The ball ricochets back to him. He has time to shoulder the ball, and then he shoulders the ball off the post and out.
Oh golly.
And he got a goal eventually. I felt bad for him because he was putting in some work and just couldn't finish. And like so many other people had chances too. The ball just would not go in the net.
That's brutal. It's brutal.
And it was rough. So, he finally scored. Olmo had a really nice pass to Lamine, who kind of put the ball around the keeper, dribbled around him, and then put it in an empty net. Interestingly enough, this was against Iñaki Peña, Barcelona's goalkeeper, who is on loan with Elche right now. So that was an interesting matchup here.
Yeah.
And then Rashford actually ended up scoring again. So Lamine Yamal had a really nice run down the right side, squares the ball, and Elche defender gets a little bit of a piece on it, but not enough. And Rashford kind of comes in and smashes the ball into the top of the net, cleans it up.
Perfect.
So nice 3-1 win. Nothing, like, I wouldn't say anything amazing, but we played well enough to win, got the win.
Yeah.
And I think the only negative from this game that I would say is Rafinha. So I was interested. I didn't hear this during the game, but he was subbed off at halftime. And Rashford came on, and I was like, that's weird. Like, he was playing decently. Like, wasn't expecting this, but I guess he hurt an adductor muscle on one of his sides. But it looks like it's from a little bit more overload than it is like an actual injury. So it sounds like he's going to be out for 1 week, which isn't too bad, especially because the games we have coming up aren't anything too crazy. But we'll kind of see how that shakes out over this next week. Barcelona actually this week are going to be playing Albacete. Albacete, if you're not from Spain, they, if you remember, Andy, are the team that eliminated Real Madrid from the Copa del Rey. Barcelona is going to be playing them in the Copa del Rey, so that'll be fascinating to see.
Albacete is, man, that's a great run for them. I hope they're able to get all the prize money that they can from that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Actually,
you just reminded me of a super dud moment that I wanted to show you later. That's kind of connected to that, but we'll get to that later.
Got it. But that's Barcelona. Nice week. We got an interesting week coming up, especially with having Rafinha out. But it's nice to have Frankie De Jong back in that midfield because, gosh, watching that midfield plod along in the first half against FC Copenhagen was so hard to watch.
Yeah.
So nice to have in.
I guess, how is the defense looking? Because I know weren't able to keep the clean sheet, but I guess, like, where do you feel it's on the right track, or do you feel like they kind of skated by and didn't deal with it? Okay.
No, nice. Better. I think we always are going to have our moments. I think the thing that's always going to hurt us is transition moments where we turn the ball over, especially in the center of the pitch when we have guys up, and then the team makes 1, maybe 2 good passes and completely dices apart our defense because we were in attack mode. Because we go so hard for attack that if we turn the ball over, it puts us in a really bad spot. And that's kind of what happened against FC Copenhagen. I think only giving up 1 goal in each of those games, especially how the FC Copenhagen game started, I think is great. I mean, a 3-1 win, a 4-1 win, anytime we're winning by 2 to 3 goals, I'm going to be happy. Even if it's 5-2, if it's 6-3, like 6-4, like I'm happy with that because good offense should always beat good defense in theory.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
It's more
always
entertaining to watch. It's more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Like, if you know you're going to get guaranteed win, which would you rather have? You'd much rather have more goals being scored.
Absolutely,
easy,
absolutely. So, but yeah, just I don't think we are where we need to be come March, April, but I think for January, I think we're doing just fine. Especially, I feel like we're kind of over that mini slump we hit after winning the Copa del Rey final.
Okay, that's good.
So,
Because I think that was the biggest thing that could
yeah,
derail is that if you didn't get that, like you have a little bit of a wobble against Copenhagen, you still advance, but you don't get the exact perfect result.
right.
That could happen. But
Yep.
you guys passed that hurdle. You passed. So and
Yeah.
like passed at a pretty high bar. So congrats to you. Congrats to you guys. You guys are set up well for success. And yeah, I hope those extra days off of rest really help out the team, at least in the injury crisis for sure.
Yeah,
So
I hope so too.
That's
So
good. Yeah.
speaking of kind of achieving that bar, maybe a little bit of stumbling across the finish line, Andy, I'm interested to hear about this United Fulham game.
Yeah. So this was a really entertaining game. Like if I can just kind of like capture what it felt like to kind of watch this game and seeing like how it ended, I'm finally getting the feeling of enjoying football. Because like I guess like not that under Amarim that I didn't think we were on the right path, but I just knew that like if we're going to go down this route, we're going to have the football's not going to be great, but we're trying to build for something.
Sure.
So I was absolutely accepting that. But man, it's so exciting now to watch United in these past 3 games, just given how they're performing. I think what's happened is, from what I've heard and what I've seen, we're making it more basic for our defense in that we're kind of having Harry Maguire kind of play as almost like a sweeper in the back and getting back the 2 banks of 4, and then having Harry like as that like last man in defense that he can kind of come in and deal with things. And I think that just gives everyone, I think it just makes everyone feel better and feel more free that they have a very basic structure on how to deal with problems. And interestingly enough, I think a lot of people were saying, even me included, that the big test was against Fulham, because it's the idea of a big team against a much, much smaller team. What's going to happen when United is expected to win and when they're expected to have more possession. Turns out United did not have a majority of possession, which then ended up favoring us, I think, in the long run. To kind of give a synopsis, go up in the first 2 goals, 2-0. First goal from a set piece, somewhat controversial. It was first ruled to be a penalty, but then was ruled not a penalty, but the ref gave a penalty, or it gave a foul for something that was happening leading up to the overturned penalty. And on that ensuing free kick, Casemiro comes in, heads a Bruno Fernandes cross from a set piece. Second goal, Brazilian magic. Casemiro has a no-look pass to Mateus Cunha, who rifles it into the top of the net, seemingly looking like we put the game to bed. That did not happen. I think what happened is Casemiro came off. We brought on Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte is, I think, going to move on after this year. We need to move him on because I just don't think he's not the caliber that we need.
Remind me what position he plays again?
He's defensive mid. So yes, we need midfielders, but the levels dropped and it looked like we just invited more pressure on. Fulham get a goal back, and then Fulham, I think in extra time, get another goal. They scored like a worldy goal from the corner, long range, like 30 plus yards, curler that beat Senna Lamens. But I don't know. Sometimes like you watch a game, I don't know if you feel this, like sometimes you watch a game and like you just don't believe you're going to lose. Like your team, you don't feel like your team is going to lose. Even like you see the score line, you're like, how do we just give this up? Something just told me it's like, I think we're going to win this. That's what that effect has been, I think, since Carrick, is having that feeling of like, okay, yeah, our attack is flowing now. We have Bruno, we have Cunha, we have and Sesko. Sesko came on, I think, with like 15 minutes remaining, and to me, this was like the big moment of the game because we're just coming back to try to wrestle a win or wrestle full 3 points at Old Trafford, and I forget who plays the pass. but plays a pass to Bruno, and he's on the right wing. Um, him being so smart, Bruno Fernandes just decides to, with pressure on his back, he just dummies it. And so the dummy just lets the ball roll through his legs, which then rolls through the defender's legs, and they're dumbfounded. So all of a sudden, he's just bypassed like the defender there. He's able to kind of roam free and put in a good cross into Sesko, who's right where he needs to be. He takes a touch, kind of like a fake to my right, end up going left, and then just slots a beautifully hit ball into the back of the net. Almost like point blank range. It was just very close range, but it was so emphatic. Just delirium. And yes, kind of like just going from what you were saying, Paul. If you can win a game 1-0 versus 3-2, you take the 3-2. And to win to that fashion, I think it's instilling just a lot of belief and confidence in the team. And I think that's the big thing we're getting with Carrick is that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's interesting is that we're still seeing a little bit of the problems of defense not being able to close out a game or completely like put a full stamp on the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Fulham are a good team. I just would love to have seen it be just 2-0, but I don't know if we have much to go back to the bench to kind of rotate and strengthen. I think we have a decent first team that can do damage, but as soon as you ask us to try to do more or try to like lock it down, I don't think we have the personnel there to do that yet. So
I think that's the difference between like a top 4, borderline top 4 team and like a league winning or championship contending sort of team is it's not the first line. It's who can you bring in to change the game.
Yeah. And attacking wise, I think Carrick has figured that out. I think he has, because he's taking the stance of, okay, Sesko is a young player. I can bring him in 15 minutes remaining, 30 minutes remaining to do a different look. And he can hold up the ball. He has been very good at holding up the ball, which is great just if you want to take a sting out of the game. So he's getting that. So he's kind of able to then start working and getting all his attacking players out. He hasn't used too much of Mason Mount, which is a thought to think of, but we're winning matches. And as long as we're winning matches, I think that's all that really matters. So more to tool with, more to think on, but there's confidence. Confidence is back, and that's huge for this team.
Yeah, and I don't know why this made me think of it, but I saw a video from the lad who is waiting for 5 wins in a row to cut his hair.
Yeah.
And
he's more than halfway there.
Yeah, he put out a video before this weekend's game, and he's like, I just have 3 hams to get through. And he goes, full ham, and he takes a bite of ham. Tottenham, and takes a bite of ham. And West Ham, and takes a bite of ham.
I love that. Holy cow.
It was That's so good.
Random, but I love that. I love it. It's British. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get through, because Tottenham had a decent performance this weekend, but we'll see what happens. But overall, liking the confidence, because then I think we can just have this confidence and build on it, and that's what's exciting, is we can build off that. So long may it continue for that. So the vibes here, Paul, are just as good as they are over in Barcelona. Let's go around and do the rest of the league. Vibe check. From the Bundesliga, kind of an interesting development here, where Bayern have drawn for only the third time this season against Hamburger. Meanwhile, Dortmund beat Heidenheim to close that gap just a little bit. And in addition, RB Leipzig just lost to Mainz, which gets them bounced from the top 4. So now we have a whole new top 4 in Germany. We have Bayern with 51 points, Dortmund at 45. So that's 6 points back, only 6 points back. Hoffenheim at 42, and then Stuttgart at 39.
Yeah,
Paul.
6 points is tough, but doable at this point in the season. So you know the tough part is you're asking a team like Bayern, who has one loss and three draws in the league the entire year through,
Mm-hmm.
5 of the 8 months of the season. It's really hard to see them dropping points, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
possible, especially as they turn more of their attention towards the Champions League and trying to succeed there. Sometimes when teams do that, they lose sight of their own league. So
yeah.
we'll see how that works
Yeah.
out.
Because it will be interesting if Bayern. Yeah, we'll see how far Bayern gets, because I think that's going to be a big question Bayern have to ask themselves: is are they going to dip down in their dominance again? I know they lost to Bayer Leverkusen 2 years ago, but are they going? Would they sacrifice um, domestic dominance to get European football and get a European pinnacle crown? We'll
Yeah.
see how that goes there.
Yep. Definitely.
Heading to La Liga, Paul. Tell us about what else is going on in Spain.
Yeah. So in not so sunny Spain right now, I feel like a lot of the games they've been hitting their kind of rainy weather. It's raining on the plains in
Yeah, it's
Spain.
winter times. Yeah.
Yep, we're getting some of those colder, some of those rainy games. Real Madrid, starting with them, Andy. I am disappointed in refereeing again, as you might imagine. This is the topic of conversation, it seems like, every week. So they ended up needing 2 red cards from Rayo Vallecano, a very questionable stoppage time penalty given with no check, and they got 9 minutes of stoppage time, Andy.
Wow.
To find a winner. And they did, shockingly. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights from that game. There
Did not know.
There was one point where the Rayo Vallecano defender goes to clear the ball, and when he goes to put his left leg down as his plant leg, he accidentally toe pokes the ball with his left foot. And he goes to clear it, give a big thumping clear, and obviously misses the ball because his left foot accidentally toe poked it away from him. And in his follow through, he barely makes contact with the chest abdomen area as he's making a football play to try to clear the ball. But obviously, because his other foot touched the ball, he didn't clear the ball, right? There's barely any contact. The Real Madrid player makes an absolute meal out of it, gets the penalty, and it salvages them the game. It's so frustrating. But we know that they're going to get the calls. They get the calls again. They get the win 2-1. It is trouble in paradise, Andy, for the third and fourth teams in the league. Atletico Madrid drew to 19th place Levante, 0-0.
Ow. That's bad.
I don't know.
That's bad. I know it's Atletico Madrid that are not necessarily have been known for their flourishing attack, but oh man, that's
meek.
Yeah, that's
meek offense. So
very meek.
And then Villarreal ended up drawing with Osasuna 2-2 as well. So what that means for the standing is Barcelona in first with 55, Real Madrid in second with 54. Big gap, 9 points between them and Atletico Madrid in third with 45, and then Villarreal with 42, with that game in hand.
Game in hand.
But always. They're going to get 27 points from that game in hand.
Exactly.
So.
Yes. Mathematically, they're not eliminated yet from winning it. So, but they have a game in hand. So you never know what the math can do.
Yeah. In the last couple of weeks, it's really been Barcelona and Real Madrid. So we will see how that shakes out there.
Yeah.
Andy, let's move over to Italy. I've been thinking about Italy and all the wonderful pasta there. I don't know why. I've just been hungry lately, I guess. So
hey, I guess the winter. I guess February is pasta time. Hey, it is Valentine's Day coming up, so potentially you and Z having a more Italian themed San Valentino Day could be an idea.
Yeah.
But heading into Italy, the big development is that Juve have gotten back into the top 4. Juve won their match pretty sizably against I think it was Parma. I think 4-1, kind of trounced them here. Whereas Roma, they get upset by Udinese 1-0 today. I think it was the match that happened today. So what that means is Juve are now in the top 4. Roma are sitting in the Europa League qualifications after at one point being, I want to say, 3 points away from first place. So yeah, the winter break has kind of hit Roma hard. But Napoli have gotten back to their winning ways. But I think the big stat is that Inter have won 4 straight
Mm.
As the rest of the table has kind of drop points for either withdrawals or losses. Inter's found a way to go through the festive period and go through the winter with four straight wins in their previous 5 matches. So what that looks like, Inter have 55 points, AC Milan with 47, Napoli have 46, and Juve have 45. So kind of bunching around with Inter kind of taking the lead. And then going into Serie C, with my team Cosenza finally find their winning ways against Casertana 3-1. The goals came back, so we're hoping to move forward and get out of these playoff spots, or at least get a favorable bye in these playoff spots for Serie C. But we'll get to that when that happens. Paul, would you like to talk about England, or would you
Go
like
go for it.
myself
You
to?
you did this part this week, so I'm gonna let you take it.
Cool. So, big thing. I was unfortunate enough to watch this match a little bit, where City ended up drawing with Spurs 2-2, kind of with some like just kind of junky, I would say junky football, where
On
you
both
know
parts?
I think there was a little bit on both parts, a little
Okay.
bit just junky football. Kind of got it a little bit to like scrums around the penalty box areas.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Solanke had a scorpion kick, which I think some people have said that's a really great scorpion. For me, the best. There's only been 2 great scorpion kicks that, in my memory. First was Henrik Mkhitaryan against Arsenal, and then, or I think it was, yeah, I think it was against Arsenal. He did it, and then there was Olivier Giroud's scorpion kick. To me, that's probably the best of the scorpion kicks. But I
You're
guess
missing
Solanke.
you're missing one.
Who's the other one?
The other one was Rene Iguita's
Okay.
um, scorpion kick save. So he's a goalie. And
Oh, yes.
1995, a friendly between
Oh,
England and
yeah.
Colombia, he
Yes. This
had
guy was
a
crazy.
scorpion kick save. I mean, it was a friendly, so it's like, you might not
Yeah.
count it, but it was still sick.
Yeah, it's still amazing. Honestly, when in my college days, when I just looked up soccer highlights or like craziest like soccer plays, that would always be there. Even if it was supposed to be like a United highlight reel or a Gigi Buffon highlight reel, someone would just throw that in there because it
Yep.
was just so crazy. But gotta love it there.
Yep.
So that draw really hurts my feelings more than it really hurts everything else. But Arsenal get their win, so they are able to take back their 6 point lead. Um, what's happening at the other half, not the other half of the table, because we're not looking into that. But for the top 4, we have Liverpool and Chelsea are able to put the pressure on United with wins against Newcastle and West Ham, respectfully. Well, Villa lose to Brentford. So what that looks like is now Arsenal have 53 points, City 47, Aston Villa 46, and United 41 points there. So we've done the domestic leagues, but we do have the Champions League, Paul. So tell us how that wound down in the final, I guess, like group stage matches.
Yeah, sure. So there was a lot of interesting things to happen because a lot of teams are really close to vying for that top 8. A lot of teams fighting to get into the elimination stages, just trying to see where everybody finished up. So I think the biggest things were teams that kind of played their way out of either contention or the top 8 spots. So Napoli ended up losing, Atletico Bilbao, Marseille, PSV, and we mentioned FC Copenhagen already, but they were all eliminated because they lost in their final game. And I think probably the most shocking one here, I mean, you can maybe say Athletic Club. I think Sporting has been very good this year, but Athletic Club is just like, man, they've been having a really, really rough year so far. So I think that was pretty surprising. Or, I mean, we'll get to this one later, but Atletico Madrid losing to Bodo Glimt, who, as you may know, Andy, they beat Manchester City in the last round, the previous round. And that actually got them those 2 wins. Andy played them into the knockout stage,
Wow.
which is super exciting to see. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody had them beating both Man City and Atletico Madrid back to back. So I would say the most exciting game of the weekend was Real Madrid Benfica. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights from this game, Andy. It was wild.
Yeah, absolutely wild, right? Because wasn't it a last minute goal from a goalkeeper?
Yes.
Am I right? Okay,
You got it. So
yeah, go for it.
So it's a back and forth affair. Benfica and Real Madrid trading goals up until the point where Benfica is up 3-2. And here's the thing. So I saw something about this. So Jose Mourinho is the manager for Benfica right now.
Mm-hmm.
At halftime, I don't remember where the score sat. I think Benfica was up by a goal. But supposedly Benfica was late coming out of the changing room. And there's a case being made right now that Jose Mourinho did this on purpose so that their game finished last, so that Benfica knew exactly where they stood, so knowing if they needed to score another goal or not.
Sure.
I wouldn't put it past him. It's unconfirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unconfirmed, but like I'm sure he would, because I think he may not have, and honestly but if someone mentioned that he could do that, or like that was a possibility, he'd be like, "Oh, sure, I would have done it if I had the time or something."
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
So I could see that happening.
Yeah. So as we get later on in the game, towards the end, Real Madrid ended up getting 2 red cards. One, I think, I don't remember if it was straight red for a tackle or if it was yellow card accumulation, but another one was stupid from Rodrigo. He was late to a challenge and then mouthed off to the referee. So he got 2 yellow cards in the span of like a minute.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Real Madrid's down to 10 men. And Jude Bellingham makes a tackle on a Benfica player. That was questionable. I honestly, as a neutral, I mean, I wanted Real Madrid to lose, but it was a very, very questionable foul call.
Mm-hmm.
But Benfica's given a gift, and they're able to put a ball into the box. Now, here's the thing, Andy. I had to pause this video a couple of times when I'm watching the highlights because we know Real Madrid is down to 9 men, right? Benfica has poured everybody forward, including their goalie. Mm-hmm. Benfica has 8 players in the box, including the goalie. They have a couple up top to deal with if a ball comes out, and they got the guy taking the kick, right? So that's 11 total.
Yeah.
Real Madrid has 1 guy in the wall, which is super ineffective because the ball is pretty far out. I don't even know why they have somebody in the wall. They have Vinicius and Mbappe completely out of the play. I don't know why they're not back defending because they're down to 9 men.
Mm-hmm.
They have 5 defenders defending against 8 attackers.
Oh, that's weird.
And so the ball gets played in, and Benfica actually had their goalie and another player right there to head this ball in, and it ends up being the goalie. It's a fantastic goal from the goalie. But he scores. Benfica, because of the win and the goal differential, gets through. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I could think is maybe Vinicius and Mbappe are up there because they're hoping for a ball that gets played out, the goalie's in. If they score with a tie, they get into the top 8.
Yeah.
But at the same point, you only need 1 person up there to sprint.
Yeah, why is there 2?
It's because
that's my question. Yeah.
It's because they're lazy, Andy. They don't want to be defending. They wouldn't be back there defending if they had 6 players on the field. Because that's beneath them. That's my opinion anyway. Like I don't know. I just don't get it. But hey, I'm happy. Because Real Madrid's not going to have to play another game to get into like the top 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a wild game, though. That was absolute scenes. Hearing the Benfica local call on that, man, that was fun. That was fun.
It's great.
So great. So Benfica in, Real Madrid out of the top 8, so they're going to have to play an elimination game. PSG and Newcastle are also eliminated from the bye because they had draws on the final day.
Okay.
And then because Atletico Madrid lost, like I mentioned, and Atalanta lost, they were also eliminated from bye contention. So kind of what that means, Andy, I mean, I'm pretty impressed. I know you're going to hate hearing this, but by Arsenal, because they went a perfect 8 for 8. But as you know, last year, I'm pretty sure Liverpool went 8 for 8 and were eliminated in the first round. So it means absolutely bub kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, they can still bottle it, so
Yeah,
just makes the bottle job that much cleaner, I guess.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I think the interesting kind of some interesting matchups here is, depending on where it gets or kind of what happens. Monaco and Paris Saint Germain play, and they will either Barcelona or Chelsea will play the winner of that game, which will be super
ooh,
interesting.
yeah,
And then Benfica, Real Madrid play again, Andy. Which is super interesting. I don't know
yeah,
why they did that, but they are playing
yeah,
each other in the knockout stages. And other than that, I wouldn't say there's anything too interesting in the first round.
yeah,
Nothing that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely tuning in to watch that. I would
yeah.
say it's Benfica, Real Madrid.
I
Like the
think
other games,
so.
I'm just kind of like,
That
eh.
feels perfect. That feels perfect for the lore that surrounds Jose Mourinho. If
Oh
he's
yeah,
able to get it through, of he's able to nix his first or get his a big win for Benfica through that. If he
yeah,
can also knock Real Madrid out again over in another game, he'll
scenes,
find a way. He'll find a way.
scenes. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he always gets a first year bounce, and I believe this is his first year in Portugal or back
yeah,
in Portugal since he came to the scene with FC Porto. So
yeah. So
we shall see.
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm also interested. It's interesting to see that they don't have the final bracket set, because after these next games are played, they do another draw to determine where each team is at. Or like
Okay.
the teams that are playing in the elimination games, those are set, but the bye teams are not set. There are two possible places that they could be in, and I'm just like, why not just set the bracket? It makes me feel like UEFA is like, oh, we want to put our hand in the cookie jar and we're going to draw to see who plays who, but they're just going to look for the best matchups.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Like I don't know if you've ever seen what is it? The the TV show Better Call Saul, where there's
Mm-mm.
like a way that he fudges the bingo card by like
Mm-hmm.
putting like little metal mercury into the uh bingo balls, so
Mm-hmm.
he can like pick them up with a magnet and it immediately goes to them. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's maybe a little bit of that kind of happening with their being like, oh, let's let it be chance. Meanwhile, the chance
Yeah.
is bingo balls that are weighted.
Yeah. I
So
mean, if
I
you
can
had the
see that.
option of, Barcelona PSG or Chelsea PSG, I think you're going Barcelona PSG.
Yeah, yeah. I think you would have an early knockout matchup. I think
Yeah.
that'd be the ideal.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, we'll see. We will see how that goes. But super interesting last day of the Champions League. It always is. I love that they play all the matches at the exact same time, so everybody's kind
yeah,
of playing for their chance to get in. So
yeah, I think so. I agree. Hopefully, we can be there next year, but we'll see. All right, to the last segment, Super Sub and Super Dud. Paul, who are your Super Subs and Duds?
yeah. So I think first super sub, I'm going with Bernal. I mean, he was the difference maker in that FC Copenhagen game. Which, I mean, I think people forget that he's only 18.
Wow.
And I think because he's so tall, and I think he looks more mature than he actually is. But I mean, he's only 18, and the fact that he was the difference in a Champions League game that Barcelona absolutely had to come out and perform in the second half is amazing to me. So he is my super sub. My super dud is going to be Barcelona's finishing lately. I think in the last couple of games they've really struggled with that, and need to work on it. I think the injury woes, especially with Rafinha, is tough. But I think I'm also going to go with Atletico Madrid for losing their midweek game, getting knocked out of the bye spots, and then a 0-0 draw to the 19th place team in the league. If you are the third best team in your league, that should never ever happen.
You can't find a way to not score a goal in against that. That's pretty damning,
Yep.
if I can say so myself, as a team that did finish 15th at one point. But anyway, for myself, I'm gonna end on a high note and start with a super dud. So super dud initially I had as City for not being able to get all 3 points against Tottenham. But you reminded me of something where we're talking about the FA Cup, or you talk about the Copa del Rey, the domestic
Mm-hmm.
cup. And it reminded me of something I saw on my social media, which was news that the FA decided to not let Crystal Palace give. This was like Crystal Palace giving, I think, either winnings or full winnings to a team that they faced in the FA Cup. I can't remember if they won or they lost, and I want to say the team was Exeter City, some smaller club, but I think it was the FA. What I took away is the FA is not allowing Crystal Palace to grant uh, the winnings or funds, or release like the funds that they won and give it to this smaller club. They're saying no, you have to keep the money that we've given you, Crystal Palace, and that's the FA is saying. Which to me, I'm thinking, why does it matter if what Crystal Palace does with their money after you give it to them as a gift, just like out of
Right.
a thought? But what like kind of a crap thing to do, I think, to be like, nope, if you get your prize money and you can't gift it away. Especially for I think for football, there is still the sense that, and Crystal Palace, I think, knows this pretty well, where if you're a minnow, like you're not going to have a long time in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like know your place. But
Yeah.
like for a lot of these small clubs, like that money that they get, if they face a Premier League club, doesn't matter any Premier League club, that's going to bring in money. And so why not help out these smaller clubs out where it's already a heck of a lot harder for them to operate? So I'm going to say for the FA, I'm going to say the FA is super big dud on that. Get it together, guys, and you know be supporting of grassroots football in that sense. So with that out of the way, I have to give the super sub to the one and the only Benjamin Sheshko. He's been working hard. Hasn't really featured the past few games under Carrick, but geez, seemed like the man management went well because when he did come on for an extended period of time, he took his chance. So again, seeing a young striker score in the Stretford end to win the game with a roar of the crowd, that is Old Trafford, can't get any better than that. So very happy to be feeling the good feels again in soccer. So guys, thank you for another great podcast. Appreciate your listening. We'll be back next week after the Super Bowl and after some big matchups for our clubs to see if we can maintain these good vibes in there. But wishing you all a very good week. I have been Andy. Paul has been Paul, and with that, I'm wishing you all a big old bye.
Bye.